you didn't start trusting me until like maybe year 3.
Yeah, I had a whole lot of trust issues because not just in that area, but
So that was 3 years into our marriage that she was just like, let me see.
I had trust issues.
Let me see.
But it just wasn't in that area. It was in all the areas because of my background. Because people I might have, I don't want to say dated, but talked to. Because usually, if I was talking to you, when you like me, I like you, and then we was just together. That's how it worked back then. But people I talked to like lied unnecessarily. I mean, to this day, I'm not sure the person's name is what they said it was. That's how bad. So I had just a whole bad like did not trust a whole lot of things until he just had to prove me wrong, because he would say things and I would just be like, okay, let me just, and at first I used to say, you're not, and like negate it. And then he told me how that made him feel. Yeah. And I wasn't trying to do that.
She would say, I would say stuff, and then she would just flippantly dismiss it.
Yeah, I would, because I just be talking and just flip it.
They don't mean that.
Yeah. And that was really just talking. But when I found out how it was affecting him, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Because go ahead.
Even though I still felt that way, I shut my mouth and said it inside. And I didn't let him see that.
Because what she was doing was she would say, I would say, I love you, or I'd say something that was affectionate and was encouraging or something like that. And she'd be like, whatever. Or like dismiss, like, you don't mean that.
But yeah, I didn't believe it.
And so I was like, I done basically chose you out of all the women I could have chose. And I've made you my wife. I asked you to marry me, made you my wife. I'm doing all these things to prove that I love you, and you dismiss them and you don't accept them. You reject them. You're like, whatever. And I was like, okay, so let me show you what it's like for me not to love you and for me not to do the things that I'm doing for you. Let me show you what it's like. And
all that little flippy talk, I didn't know I was doing all that. I wasn't trying to do all that. So I shut that down real quick. Yeah. Ladies, shut all that mouth down.
Yeah. And because I felt like I was not being, the things that I was putting into the marriage weren't being received.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me stop putting things in. But then I think after you said that you didn't know that's what it did, you changed like immediately.
Yeah, I told you, I shut it down, but I still had those feelings and thoughts because it's just a lot you would say. And that's one of the reasons why low-key as friends, I walked forward in this, because one of my pet peeves.
Peeves?
Peeves. What is it?
Peeves.
Peeves
with a V.
One of my biggest frustration and irritations is people following through with their word.
Yeah.
See, that goes along with trust and stuff.
Yeah.
So you as a friend always did that, which that was one of the reasons why I was like, maybe, as friends, we should, do things together, and you always follow through what you said. So that was one of the reasons why I walked forward in this, not knowing. But you basically, in those 3 years, even though I was still feeling that kind of way inside, like not even like you would say, well, even when we was getting married, we're going to go to Europe on our honeymoon. And my mind's like,
Dang.
I was just waiting.
I paid for because Bernie paid for the wedding. I paid for the honeymoon. We did a 3-week tour in Europe.
Yeah, all over the place.
And that was like,
before though. I mean, I'm talking about before we went.
But I did not know, you did not believe that I was not going to come through and buy the tickets and get the hotels and get that car and everything.
You don't understand what I had been dealing with. I mean, people say one thing and do another, which is why it's one of my big pet peeves. So I'm saying, after so many years, 3 years, you just constantly following through, following your word. Your word is your bond. You doing what you say. I actually started believing it. And it went away. See, it take a while. The damage that I had brought to the marriage and all that baggage of not trusting people, because I had been wronged so bad in the past, where people lie for no reason. I mean, unnecessarily, just to get my empathy, some people. But that damage I saw how it could greatly affect us. So I would just keep it in, but then I just wait. And I was always waiting for the to drop for you to say, psych, I'm just kidding. I don't want to marry you. I don't love you. Yeah. We're not going on this honeymoon.
She thought I was going to be like, psych. I'm not coming down the aisle.
But that's why I'm very you say I'm very pessimistic.
You are a pessimistic person.
Yeah, because I'm always like ready. if it's not gonna go right, I was like, see, I knew it, but I try not to be that way since I've been married to you. I try to keep it all in, but it's low key still there a little
she
bit.
fails. She fails in keeping it in.
I've come farther than I used to be. Yes.
Okay.
Give me some credit.
If you say so.
Really? Okay. Anyway, but this guy reminded me of you because you had a plan, and here we are today, 25 years.
Exactly.